What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Why Cali Vegas. I'm Shane, and today you're with me on another One Take Wednesday. So the question of the day is, how do you fit 5 gallons of fluid inside of your engine? Well, that's what happened to Bruno McWallerton. And so the history or the story behind all of this is went to Cali for Thanksgiving. He was on the trailer still from drifting about a week prior. I come back and he's still on the trailer. It had rained over Thanksgiving over here, and as everybody knows, there's no hood. Well, I go to take him off of the trailer and he doesn't want to move anywhere. Battery's dead. And that was kind of weird. It's never happened before, but it happened. So I tried to jump start it, tried to use Brocoa. I used one of those little jump packs and nothing. So I took the battery to go get it charged, and he would start up and it would be like, ruh, ruh. It was very, very sluggish, and I wasn't sure exactly what was going on because the car ran fine the last time I drove it, and the only difference was the fact that it was sitting here over the holiday, and now he doesn't want to start. So I eventually get it started and it's running like crap. The oil light doesn't go away. So if you don't know, the oil pressure light, or the oil light, is to let you know if you have good oil pressure or not. So that meant I did not have good oil pressure. So I shut the car off right away and I checked the oil. Well, on the dipstick, the oil was very, very thin, and I wasn't sure exactly why. So as it was running, idling very, very rough, it was shooting what I thought was fuel out of the exhaust, a good 6 to 7 feet. The next morning, I come out, and the fuel, which I thought was fuel, was not fuel. It was actually oil coming out of the exhaust pipe. So the plan was to drain the oil and put new oil, run it, because I thought water had gotten into the motor because it had rained. Well, I jack it up and more oil came just pouring out of the exhaust pipe. So I decided I was going to smell it, and that was not water. It was actually fuel. So I still go through, I drain the oil, I put new oil in it, and I run it. Oil light's still on, but I turn it back off, and figuring that oil kind of went through, and drain it again and put good oil in it. Well, that's kind of where we're at now. The battery, whenever I connect it, it dies on its own. There's no oil pressure in the motor, and somehow fuel was filling up the oil pan. So if you check out my Instagram, Hawaii Cali Vegas with a Z, you're gonna see that there was 5 gallons. I used one of those Home Depot buckets, the big orange ones. That's 5 gallons, and I pretty much filled that up. So what I think is what happened is when it rained, remember maybe like 2 or 3 episodes ago I said when it rains it pours? Well, damn it, when it rains and you have no hood covering your ECU, you run into problems. So this is where the ECU is, or DME is what BMW calls it. Digital Management, I can't remember what it stands for. Anyway, so this is basically in a bucket right here. So the ECU sits in here somehow, or maybe it's this way. And it's basically sitting inside of a bucket. So when it rained, the water filled it up to a certain level. And if you notice right here, these look fine, and then you get to this. So what that tells me is that there was probably a short, and it decided it was going to fry itself. So I went on one of the forums. Well, actually, one of my buddies, Jake. Thanks for helping me out with this. He introduced me to a guy named Chris, who is pretty big into the Beamer scene, and he hooked me up with another one. So this one is for this motor. Supposedly the 6-cylinder and the V8 run the same ECU, but this one is specifically for this motor. One thing that I thought was weird, and I don't know if any of you guys are Beamer guys and you guys know a little bit about this. So this is the one that was in the car, and the side was cut and there's a little chip right there. The only thing I can think of is that maybe this DME or ECU was chipped or modified as far as the tune is concerned, because this one doesn't have it. So I mean, at this point I don't really care if it doesn't have like the same tune. I just want it to run, and I want it to run good, because this Sunday there's a drift event in Tucson, and I told you guys I was going to be there. So if I don't get this engine running properly and the oil light to go out, I won't be making it. But I want to, and I want to drift, and I want to make more videos for you guys. So as far as the oil pump goes, or the oil pressure light, I found a video where, this is going to sound ridiculous, but basically the oil pump in this motor is notorious for basically falling apart on itself. So in this video, the guy drops the oil pan to check on it, and there was like 6 or 7 bolts from the oil pump sitting at the bottom of the oil pan. I mean, I don't hope that happens, but at the same time, at least I know that if that does happen, that was the problem for the oil pressure light, and then I can fix it. So we're gonna get that fixed, put this ECU in, the DME, and we're gonna try and run it, and then try and fix this oil pressure light problem. So I have all this in a video that I'm putting together right now for you guys. So this is kind of like gonna be like a recap for you guys. I also picked up, I can't remember what they're called, Style 108 wheels. In the front it doesn't look too bad, but in the back it sits so far in. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with those. They're a rare wheel, but they don't quite fit this car too well. I'm gonna have to space it out quite a bit. So that's about it for Bruno. I'm still deciding what I'm gonna do as far as the BRZ and the air compressor. I should just buy one, but I'm thinking about rebuilding it, and if I do, I'll make a video on that as well. But sadly to say, the only thing that's moving right now, knock on wood, it doesn't stop working and moving, is Brocoa. That's the Toyota thing. It just keeps on going. That and the Honda Gram. So that's about where we're at right now. I gotta dump all this. So the reason why I picked up Bruno was because I was like, oh, I want something cheap, something I could drift and not have to worry about anything. And I didn't want a car that was gonna nickel and dime me. Well, knock on wood, he's not quite nickeling and diming me yet, but it's starting to get there. But I guess that's just part of the journey when you have a project car and something that you want to drift. So anyway, if you guys have any ideas on other than what I've already thought of and changed or are going to be changing as far as it running, and oh, it smokes like a freaking chimney right now, and I don't know if it's because fuel just filled up the cylinders and now it's trying to burn it off, but I can't let it run long enough because the oil light's on. So I don't know. If you guys have any other suggestions other than the ECU and possibly the oil pump being the reason for the oil pressure light, let me know. Anyway guys, I'm gonna work on the rest of that video where I start basically I tell you about what I was doing. I'm working on that right now, and it should be out either at the end of this video or maybe in Friday's video. Alright guys, if you guys have any questions or any comments, leave them down below. As always, thanks for watching. Hawaii, Cali, Vegas. I'm Shane. Mahalo.
On5.com.
Just pull the filter off.